But let me end with the last example. Public engagement. We need to engage the public before, during, and after. In Guadalajara, Mexico, the governor of the state of Jalisco called us up and said, Gil, I got this park that is 124 hectares. This was 2 years ago, in 2008. We're going to be hosting the Pan American Games. That is the second most important after the Olympics. And we need to find place to put some facilities. But more than the facilities, let's do something is in parks for everybody. So we said, okay, why don't we do in this small corner the Pan American Games, and in the rest of the park for all. So we started working on this park, which is only 6 hectares had water, but now all of it is going to have afterwards. And then we said, okay, let's do the design. We're going to do tennis and aquatics in those 8 hectares. So we did the initial concept designs, and we said, okay, what do we do with the other 116 hectares? With the other 116 hectares, we decided to do the what, the how, and the when. So this is something that is very different. Usually, you invite a group of architects, they take a look at the park for half a day, they go away, they do the designs, and they come back 3 or 6 months later with a fully design. No, here we went to the community. We asked the community, the community is the expert. What do you want? So in the process of the what, we had signs all over the park inviting the community to come to the public meetings, and many things we did. For example, on the part of the process engagement 1, we did interviews with leader stakeholders, with the mayors, with the president of the university, with key stakeholders. Second, we did focus groups, with sports groups, with environmental groups, with leaders of the neighborhoods. Number 3, we did participatory presentations. We did hour-long presentations with another hour for Q&A and comments. We did them on the weekends during the day, weekends at night, weekdays and weeknights, so that everybody could have access. Number 4, we did community workshops. We invited the people, sent them around the park, and then did visioning maps during those workshops, and through the visioning maps, we came up with the vision of the park. And 5, we did a lot of engagement also through the internet, where people could come up and do. So these were 5 of the tools, and then that's how we ended up with the what. The community decided the what. We ended up with this wonderful book on the what, and from that book that included additional information, then we went to the second step, the how and the where. Then we called the architects, and we did a competition, a national competition with some of the best architects in Mexico, and we said, okay, here's the what. Don't be too creative. Don't tell us the what. No, the community already said the what. Now we want you to work on the how and the where. So the community might want to run, but they don't know if the trail should be 2 meters or 4 meters or 6 meters or what. So then they work on it, and then this firm from Monterrey, Claudia Arari, her firm won the contest, and she had all of the credentials or the concept. So now she's working on the design. So from the master plan, then now we're going to the third stage, the when and the management. And we are working on implementing this, and that's with Claudia, and these are some of the plans, and these are some of the things that we are already starting to do in 2010. And the signage, and the running, and the walking tracks. These photos were from 3 weeks ago. This is before, and this is after. So some of the walking and the running trails are being fixed. There are different trails in different materials, and people are starting to use. There's going to be a really nice promenade of 30 meters wide with all of those trees. This is how the sports facilities in the 8 hectares are being built. The 12 tennis courts that are going to be used to the community are almost done, but here's the swimming pools. They're pretty well on their way. There's also parking underground that is going to be available for the park. So this is a different way of doing things. It's pretty much putting upside down and saying, okay, community, you are the expert. So how to engage the community before, during, and after, so that also they are part of it later on in management. So these are some of the examples. So we got some challenges, but more than challenges, we have some wonderful opportunities. But we got to start with what I said at the beginning. What kind of cities are we going to build? What kind of communities? How do we want to live? What role do we want parks to play in these new communities? So I'm going to end just saying, in order to do the changes that we need in parks, we need 5 elements. This is not about the money. It is about priority, but it's not about the money. It's not also a technical issue. Someone somewhere knows how to do the technical. It is a political issue. And for that reason, we need, number 1, leadership. And leadership, we need hundreds of leaders, thousands of leaders in the schools, in the business, in the neighborhoods, everywhere. Leaders, small, big, all, whatever. Number 2, we need political will. We need that the politicians have clear that the general interest must prevail over the particular. It's not who screams the loudest or who has the most money, but it's the general interest. Number 3, we need doers in the public sector. In the public sector, we got to remember that the citizens pay us every other week not to have 20 reasons why things cannot be done, but it's to actually get things done. Number 4, we need public engagement. The community, instead of just complaining to their next door neighbor, they got to write to the newspapers, they got to communicate with the elected officials, with the senior staff, and participate. And number 5, a sense of urgency. You know, especially in cities that are growing as fast as the cities in Australia and in Canada, we need to develop that sense of urgency. So we need to have that shared vision. But vision alone is not enough. You know, someone said that the world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs dreamers who do. So in order to do, we need to work and work and work. And if we have a clear vision and we do a lot of work, we can transform our communities and then the state and the country and the world. You know, the ducks, they're in a row. So it's very important that we do things right. But much more important than doing things right, we also have to do the right things. So I wish you all the very best, and I thank you very much.